Hello and welcome back to Paper Traders, a show where two average Joes try to beat the market. I am Eric and I'm here with Danny, and I am here to remind you all that we're streaming here live, so any questions you may have, any other comments you'd like to make, please toss them into your browser and I will see them here right in front of me. It is a new century and yeah, things are getting kind of crazy. I'm going to brag a little today, Danny.
Bragging day?
Yeah, a little bragging day because I was right about Iran.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
100%.
Holy moly! I actually kind of forgot about that. I'm not feeling the best this week, so my mind's not in, I guess, the normal places it usually is. But yeah, Iran's whole debacle with the Ukraine plane came out to be true, which I think a lot of people kind of had those speculations, but for it to come out that way. And for them, I think they said that they did it because they thought it was a missile of some sort. Was that the consensus?
I actually haven't heard any clear consensus.
Well, I do that every time. I told you guys, my mind's not here, so don't blame me.
Yeah, no, there hasn't actually been a clear consensus of what it was. I think that they said that basically that they just shot off a bunch of stuff, and then whoever is the head of that group, the something brigade, was like, yeah, no, the minute it went down, we knew what we did.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was not a good start off to, I guess, the new decade and everything, getting that type of news.
No. But still positive because we didn't end up in the middle of a conflict. We're not going to war with Iran.
No.
In fact, Iran seems to be going into basically a revolution. A lot of the people there are calling for the Ayatollah to step down. So it's kind of crazy.
That is, I see. Again, I didn't even know that. So the Iran people are now stepping up behind this kind of government that they have there.
Yeah, they're saying that they're a bunch of liars. There's been two people that have been working for their news source that have quit, saying I'm sorry, I've lied to you guys for 13 years.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people are starting to kind of turn against that regime. I don't know if you want to say turn against, but they're at least speaking up against it. And there's
a
lot
of
proof. Yeah, they want something to change there, which is pretty amazing. So for all you haters out there,
Eric was right.
Yeah, not only was I right, but we're not going to war. So
no, thank goodness. I don't think anybody really wants to go to war. No country does. I think the economies and everything is in a great place. So I think the world in general would benefit from peace.
Would you say, Danny, that it surprised you
that happened, or that was true? I would say no on both fronts. I kind of expected somewhat of a response from Iran, and then also that being kind of an accident that happened. I kind of think it was too much of a coincidence when we heard about it. It was the same day. What were the odds? It was a 0.001% chance. So I think people were just kind of stepping on eggshells when it first happened. They didn't want to come out and be like, oh, yeah, you guys did this and start more of a conflict. I think it was more let's figure out the facts. And they did. So.
Totally agreed. It came into the positive light, which is basically they were in the wrong, we were in the right, and things are all kosher.
All right. And this could have gone a lot of different ways, but I'm sure there's still going to be a lot of resolution to come over the next coming, I don't even know, weeks to months.
This will never be over. Iran has hated us forever. So, I mean, there's bound to be another conflict of some sort. And don't forget, they love their proxy wars. So we're still technically fighting with them in Israel and Saudi Arabia.
All right.
And
so a lot
I think also in Yemen. I'm pretty sure they're involved in Yemen as well. I might be wrong on that one.
It can be a scary world.
Since that wasn't a surprise, I do have a surprise for our viewers and listeners that for a limited time, you can sign up for Zacks Surprise Trader. And if you go to Zacks.com/promo, you can get all the details. You get all the buys and sells, portfolio features. Our buddy Dave Bartosiak, look at that bearded face there. He will be the guy who runs it and helps you. You can see some of the wins that they've had. So for all details, please go to Zacks.com/promo and you can check out Zacks Surprise Trader.
That's pretty cool when you think about it, because what we do here on Paper Traders is a little bit more of, we call it an average Joe's kind of perspective on the market.
Oh, yeah.
Dave Bartosiak is a little bit more in depth with what he does and actually runs a portfolio. So what that is you get full access to it.
And to him,
yeah. He sits there and writes a lot of commentary on a daily basis, lets you know kind of
what he's thinking, where he's going. Yeah, it's all inclusive.
Right. So yeah, get your money in there. It's only $1, and you get a lot of value out of it. So yeah, check it out.
All right. Well, with that, I guess we kind of just get into the news. I'm going to start with a pretty hilarious story. Danny, is he looking at me?
Yeah. You
Is he looking at me?
Okay. He's looking at you. I think those eyes are always following.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, I'm going to be quiet because he might come after me. But so Charles Gozin had a Hollywood-style escape from Japan recently.
Yeah, it was something straight out of like a movie,
For
a Quentin
real.
Tarantino movie, more or less.
It was crazy. And I'll say that anybody who's involved in any sort of higher crime is probably going to be looking to invest in Yamaha's double bass cases. Because here's the story. So we know Charles Gozin was the CEO of Nissan, brought in when Renault took over to basically fix Nissan, which he did. But apparently at the same time, he was kind of paying some of his debts with Nissan money.
So he was like, "Hey, I'm doing so well here.
I'm just
gonna take a little off the top.
I'm gonna take
what's
what I
wrong
want
with that?"
and take care of my stuff. So he ends up getting in trouble for this and gets put under house arrest. And essentially, that's after he paid like $13 million in what is it called?
Damages and fees?
No,
or...
not damages. When you want to get out of jail, what's it called?
Oh,
Bond.
bail.
Yeah, bail, bond. He bonded out at $13 million, and then recently decided to climb into a Yamaha double bass case, and basically escape Japan into Lebanon. Or no, what was it? It was from Japan to Turkey
into Lebanon.
and into Lebanon.
Yeah.
So pretty crazy story. So that guy right back there is definitely going to have a Hollywood movie coming out soon, if you ask me.
Yeah, I'm bringing up a picture of what the box looks like here. This was on the actual article that was written about it. So it's a big... It basically looks like one of those carriers you used to see in like 80s movies because people didn't have like normal suitcases apparently, but this is what they like would travel around if they were in a band.
Well, I mean, you're an audio
Yeah.
guy. You know how big some of those cases can be for audio equipment when you're like, doing like a band that's touring, or if
Yeah.
you had like a case for like a guitar, like a half stack. Like those are big freaking cases.
100%. And I don't know why my mind went straight to this, but it reminds me of the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with John Candy.
Oh, he's
in
got the
back of
giant.
Yeah. It's a great movie, but yeah, I don't know why.
That was just a giant trunk, though. It was a little different. Like, I mean, I feel like from what I read, the authorities couldn't scan it. A trunk, I'm pretty sure they'd be able to scan, but this is a double bass. So a double bass, I'm assuming,
they couldn't fit it in the X-ray
the
machine.
giant. Yeah, it's so big they couldn't fit in the X-ray machine. So like a double bass is huge.
So they were just like, "Hey, we won't look at all.
Right.
We don't care what's inside."
So now I imagine that lots of people are buying these cases in Japan, wondering what they can get out.
Well, it's funny. The company Yamaha actually came out and
said, "Don't do it."
Yeah, they were warning people like, "Don't do this. This is not what we're advocating. This is not what they're meant to be for."
But the cat's out of the bag, man. It's too late now. People are like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, well, I think the internet, as fun as it is, got a little crazy. Probably was doing a lot of tweets, and you know how people can be. Trolling the internet as they do. So I think they kind of, as a company, needed to step in and go, "Hey guys, we need to make a public statement here. This is not what these are used for."
Right.
It's kind of funny that they had to even do that.
Right.
I'm sure the guys and the executives were like, "This is just ridiculous."
And that's the reason it's hilarious. That's the reason it's such a good story, because like, man, this is like a Hollywood movie. It's almost on the level of what's the name? The Guzman guy, the drug dealer from Mexico who kept escaping jail.
I'm not familiar.
Oh man, what's his name? I gotta look it up.
Guzman, huh?
I think it's Guzman. He like escaped 2 Mexican jails. Like one through a freaking tunnel that was like a quarter-mile long. That had
Shawshank Redemption
Well, no,
style.
way more intricate than that. Like they had like gone and like busted a tile out in a bathroom. He jumped down that, and then down in that like pit that was dug out for him, there was literally a motorcycle on a rail that he jumped on to get out of there.
Oh man. Well, I mean, Shawshank Redemption is a little worse, I guess. But
yeah, this is like that's very like, clandestine compared to what this guy did.
007
yeah, this
style.
is like some serious movie stuff.
Man, that would be pretty cool.
Oh, what was his name? El Chapo.
El Chapo.
Yeah, that's his like.
Oh, I remember hearing.
Yeah, El
about
Chapo
him.
Guzman. I'm right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Guzman. I remember
Joaquin
the
El
name.
Chapo Guzman.
Yeah, I remember the El Chapo being in the news and him getting extradited in the FBI and that whole craziness. I don't really follow the cartels and their, bad news.
Well, that's an El Chapo style escape, though.
It's
You know what I
insane.
mean?
It's definitely
Like, you're
007S to
yeah.
have a motorcycle waiting for you. I envision him jumping down like 10 feet and landing on the motorcycle perfectly and riding off into the distance. But I'm sure that's not how it went.
Probably not at all, but still funny. And this guy pulled off the same type of thing now under house arrest. This is more 0070 because he's under house arrest in his own home in Japan, and then somehow gets himself into a case. Nobody notices. Then that case is shipped to Turkey.
Yep, and now he's just hanging out.
And now he's chilling in Lebanon.
The Lebanon authorities are refusing Interpol's request to extradite him. So
Oh yeah, Lebanon's got no extradition.
yeah.
So and he's actually, I remember reading that he is a citizen in Lebanon, France, and Brazil.
Must be nice. I don't
So-
know how you get so many different citizenships. I know how difficult it is here, but
You pay for it,
Yeah.
man. You pay for it.
I guess so.
I mean, he's a probably billionaire. He's probably just like, man, I'll give you $200 million if you make me a citizen.
Yeah,
I'm
who
sure he's not
knows?
paying that much, but he's probably paying way less than that.
Yeah,
So.
some Jason Bourne stuff going on here.
Right. So, Mike Peters, happy hump day to you as well. Hopefully, you're enjoying our little conversation here. Back to some more news, I guess. So, we had some retail news come out. Target kind of pooping the bed. Little
Yeah, I feel like
sad trombone for
I feel,
Target there.
I feel like most of these retails are coming out and not having the best news per se.
Are we surprised, Dan?
I mean, you're having some companies that I feel like are doing well, more or less in retail, or in clothing and apparel. Lululemon's doing well. Urban Outfitters came out and had some surprising numbers for their sales and what's it called, Anthropology, and then Free People were up 3 to 4% in the holiday sales for them.
I will say I'm
so
sad
it-
that L Brands was struggling a little bit. I do love that Victoria's Secret stuff.
Well, I think a lot of people do, but
Which, darn it, they took away the Victoria's Secret, what is it called? Parade that they do every year. The Angels
oh, they did one.
show, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Darn it.
I don't follow Victoria's Secret the way you do. So,
Well, I mean, how are you going to buy your special lady something without knowing what it looks like, right?
yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these companies are kind of up and down. So with the good, you also had a lot of bad. Like you said, Target isn't doing so hot. They were only up 1.4% in their holiday sales compared to their 5.7 just a year ago. So that's a pretty significant difference in my opinion. That's probably hundreds of millions of dollars in sales that they're missing out on there. I mean, then you had GameStop. They were down huge. Their top line sales fell 27.5%, which is astronomical. I mean, I think these are just trends that we're seeing because some, like I said, some stores are doing well, others aren't. I think it just has to do with what
What they're
industry
selling,
you're
of
in.
course.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, what are people interested in? I bet you if we looked, Amazon sales weren't down during the holidays.
No, probably not.
Right.
I'm sure they were doing just fine.
Phenomenally. I bet you they were up.
And then, I mean, well, if we break it down, if you look at GameStop and what they sell, it's
It's a
physical
dying medium.
video games
Yeah, it's a
and
dying
consoles.
medium.
A lot of these video game consoles nowadays have their own marketplaces to sell these video games themselves.
And actually, to cross promote here, if you do want a further conversation about retail and what happened with that Tracy's Market Edge podcast from yesterday, she went into it with Maddie Johnson. That was pretty in depth into retail. Us, we're just going to kind of gloss over it. But yeah, she actually jumps into some real numbers.
Yeah, that should be, I mean, to be honest, that should be on our homepage. So if you just type Zacks.com, it should be right there. You can check it out. And yeah, just dive in a little bit more. Again, like Eric said, we're just going to.
Yeah, we're just going to gloss over it. But yeah, I'm not surprised that a lot of these stores failed. You know, like, I mean, Macy's, I'll be honest, I'm amazed that Macy's still exists. Seriously.
The big department stores just aren't what they used to be for people.
Because they're unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, the strip malls have kind of gone
Died.
away.
Oh my God.
I
have they
feel like
died.
the only mall like situation that exists still are ones that have become more like town centers. Specifically, kind of, I can refer back to where I'm from, Ohio. We have a huge Easton town center, which it literally has condos, and it's like a mini little tiny city. It has your Whole Foods, it has the movies, it has the shopping, the eating, the you know what I mean. So I feel
Yeah,
like
it's all
those type of
inclusive.
experiences will always exist, but those strip malls where these department stores do kind of thrive or used to,
Oh,
like
I
the
disagree.
J.C. Penney's and
I
stuff.
say J.C. Penney, Macy's, all those used to be in full malls. I mean, Macy's is definitely a mall store, and they're not doing well.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with you that the experience is important, but I feel like in general, if you're an adult, say over the age of like probably 20, and you've kind of set into your ways, like you like a certain type of jean, that you're, wearing a certain size, you're never going to go to a store again. You're just going to be like, oh, I like that shirt.
yeah. I
Send it
mean,
home.
I definitely have my go-to stores and kind of go-to things that I like to wear. But I mean, I think with the apparel, they are kind of showing us that still a thriving business with Lululemon, Urban Outfitters doing very well. I don't know. I just think it's still a factor because with Target, with us mentioning they were down, that was due to what they were calling a lack of sales in electronics and toys, which
So,
is a surprising thing to me because I thought that's kind of what kids like, but apparently they're going maybe towards more like iPads
oh,
and
I'm
stuff
sure.
like that.
Apps.
So
They're probably
yeah,
buying apps instead of toys.
yeah,
I mean, Kohl's was up, and I'm going to assume that has to do with their deal with Amazon and them being a return center. So, and I use Kohl's all the time, to be honest with you, to return stuff from
love Kohl's.
Amazon. And when I go there, they give you a coupon, 25% off of anything on the store in the store because you return something for Amazon. So it's a win on top of a win when you use Kohl's to return stuff. So I'm really happy for them. Glad that that deal is working out because I'm sure that helped their holiday sales for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, I think this kind of overall idea of how these stores are kind of up and down. I think we're gonna really have to just pay attention to the upcoming earnings that are gonna be flowing in here. We're in the midst of earnings season here for the end of 2019. So we're going to see a lot of these kind of reports coming out, and I believe they're going to be up and down. We're going to see both positive and negative depending on kind of what each store focuses on selling. As we said, Target kind of had some hurt because a lot of their stuff is electronics, not so much clothes,
Right.
like Urban Outfitters and Lululemon and such like that. So just a lot to watch out for. And yeah, keep your eyes open, and I'm sure we will too, because again, like we said, we want to get a little bit more aggressive with our portfolios here,
Yes.
which kind of I think brings us to the
Time
infamous
to
battleground.
go to the battleground.
Yep, here we go.
All right. So, looking at my portfolio, I mean, I don't have anything to bring to the table. I'll be honest with you. There's been a lot of news about Boeing. I've just been watching that. Looks like I'm down a little bit today, but long run, I'm looking to add something really big, and I just can't keep waiting. So, definitely for next week, I'm going to be adding something large. Hopefully, if Boeing takes a little dip for me, just a little dip,
Yeah, and
just give me like 5% down, and I'll jump in.
it looks like your gold play is taking a little bit of a
Oh, yeah.
plummet on the Zacks ranking system there.
Yeah,
So.
oh yeah. Well, because things are looking solid and gold's a defensive play, but gold is always going to be worth something. So I kind of feel like there's always going to be people mining it. So it's not really a bad
No, you're
play to have.
yeah, you're looking for the long term.
Right.
All right.
Ah!
Man, I'm so sorry. Let's just listen to it.
Yeah, we'll just listen to it. It's
I
the
like it so
soundtrack
much.
today.
It sounds so good, and it's a great little animation.
You're just so sick and tired, Danny. You gotta just go home.
Moving on though to my portfolio, I'm actually kind of happy.
I've never seen anything like that. Your portfolio is hilarious. Just threes across the board.
and
Hold.
And you know what though? I'll take it because that doesn't mean it's generally a bad thing. It's typically something that can happen during earnings when you get a lot of mixed analyst revisions coming out. So that's probably what's going to happen here. But as you see, I'm sitting pretty at 3% gains. As you know, if you've been following us here over the past months, I was down, I believe, a couple $100 due to a play in Square. But as you can see, Square has made it back to the $70 range. It was sitting down really low towards the low 60s. We made a decent play into Disney, which has been performing well as AT&T. So we're seeing just that. Yeah.
You're
Applause
doing
to
good,
me.
Danny. Yeah,
I'm
you're doing
happy.
good, buddy.
I was a little nervous at first. I didn't know if we were gonna make it out of that rut clean, but we've made our way out of the hole, and yeah, we're gonna strive through 2020, and like I said, be a little bit more aggressive. So
Well, I mean, you watched your numbers, you watched the, estimates, and you watched the revisions. So, I mean, you knew that Square was going to come out.
yeah, it was one of those companies that I kind of like had to sit back and just hope that there was going to be some positive sentiment that would help push it out of its kind of sideways trading. After its earnings, it kind of sat there for a little bit between $60 and $65, and then we got some positive sentiment from was it Bank of America, I believe. I could be wrong. I'm sorry if I am. But either way, there was a positive revision that came out with a price target hitting in the higher 70s. So I
All
think it
good
just kind of
things.
gave that positive sentiment towards them, and investors started jumping back in. So here we are.
All right, well, before we get out of here, let's see what we got. We got a couple messages here from Mike Peters. Wow, Mike, you were really on the board today. Will the China trade deal put an end to the downtrend in AG stocks? I would say probably. I mean, agriculture is definitely part of that deal. I wouldn't say it put an end to it because I'm sure it only deals with a couple things, probably mostly soy. But I would say, yeah, probably. What do you think, Danny?
Yeah, I think it all depends on what they're actually selling. I'm sure every agricultural business has a different kind of medium. So yeah, like he said, there's very specifically targeted agricultural goods that are being tariffed. I mean, depending on how these tariffs and I guess trade deal kind of pans out, it could be good or bad. I really, it's hard to say at this point on how the trade deal is going to kind of be worked out between China and the U.S. So I think it's still up in the air.
Yeah, there's still stuff to deal with, but it's good that we're coming to some sort of agreement now. It's been almost a year of
Definitely
bickering
moving
back
forward.
and forth.
I think it's going to have a large part in what's going to happen in this upcoming election. I don't think you're going to see a 100% resolution before that time.
Definitely
I think
not.
we're going to be in here for at least another year of kind of up and down volatility with that kind of trade deal thing looming over us.
He also says Kohl's was a great turnaround. They were underwater 2-3 years ago. Yes, that's a huge turnaround. I guarantee that Amazon deal had something to do with it. What's going on with milk companies? Actually, I have no idea. Do you have anything? Do you know anything about milk companies, Danny?
Well, I know in general a lot of them are going bankrupt.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, there was 2 companies that filed bankruptcy. I don't know what the whole
Oh,
hate
wasn't this
is
the
for.
Dean's thing?
Yeah,
It wasn't. It
exactly.
wasn't bankruptcy. Weren't they trying to just be sold?
No, I believe they filed bankruptcy.
Oh, yeah, it says bankruptcy.
And I honestly don't understand it because it's one of those things.
I do.
Like people love milk.
No, I totally
I
get it.
drink
This is
milk,
that
maybe
whole
it's-
trend with how everybody's lactose intolerant and everybody's got, some sort of disease now where they can't eat bread or something else. So now milk companies are having trouble selling product because everybody wants soy milk.
There's
And
probably a lot of diets out there. I know there's a lot of different dieting trends. I'm not 100% up on them, but I'm sure
you
that
know how I stand on this stuff. It's all bogus.
yeah, I mean, well, I will say
ridiculous to
that
me.
some diets do have scientific backgrounds and proofing to them.
Yeah, but
Some
the
are
whole-
just trends.
Yeah,
Others,
the way everybody now has a allergy to gluten is just insane.
yeah,
Like this is literally something that brought us into civilization and out of the Stone Age. And now magically, after thousands of years, everybody's got an allergy to it. Get out of here with that.
no, but it is healthy to back down on the gluten intake. I believe us as Americans have probably gotten a little out of hand with that over the past decade.
I would say
or
that
so.
comes down to portion control, but we're not
Exactly.
nutritionists,
No,
so
we're not here for that.
going to sit here and fight with that. So milk companies, I have no idea, man. I'm honestly just going to blame it on the soy milk companies, to be honest with you.
It's a weird thing that we've been seeing over the past couple months, and I truly don't understand that trend. I feel like it's only a fad. I mean, milk is such an essential,
It's a staple.
food thing that you put in your refrigerator. And
Well,
just
you need
is.
it for cooking, and you need it for eating and drinking, and
Yeah, no, it's an
it's a
essential
staple, especially if you bake it all.
Yeah.
So I have no idea, Mike. I'm sorry about that. Add Verizon. Actually, Verizon is on my potential watch list because they just keep expanding, and that 5G thing just keeps rocking for them.
Yeah, and you just reminded me I got to go get a new phone.
Yeah, me too. Me too. You especially.
Yeah.
But yeah, me as well. Why do stocks always take the stairs going up but use the elevator going down? Well, that's because the bottom drops out. All it takes is some bad news, bad sentiment, and that stock will just disappear. And why does it go up slowly? Same type of thing, only in the reverse order. You have people that go, I don't know, maybe it's a good company or maybe it's not a good company. And it slowly stares up. And then somebody eventually says, hey, this company doesn't exist.
Yeah, we're also in a market, though, that you're buying a lot of these growth stocks. And I feel like with buying a growth stock, when bad news comes out, like you said, that bottom can kind of really come out from underneath you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot of people jump out of those stocks and realizing that, hey, maybe it's not worth as much as we're buying it in.
Well, especially if you're talking large companies, institutional investors, all they got to do is pull their investment and boom, there goes like $1 billion.
Well, you're buying a lot of PEs in the high 20s and 30s, which is a very scary thing to do sometimes. So, yeah, I mean, you definitely are going to see this kind of volatility pop in and out in this type of market. So.
And he's got one last one. All right, this is the last one for you, Mike, because we're going to be running along otherwise. We got Bungie, BG. Any thoughts? I'm going to take a look right here. That name sounds familiar. I think this is a stock that Tracy actually used to like.
Bungie Limited.
Yeah. Let's take a look, see here what they do. Integrated global agribusiness, food company, farm to consumer food chain. Okay, so it's basically like a Cisco type or Reinhardt type food producer. It's 55.78 right now.
Got some momentum going
for it. It's a strong buy. Let's take a look at the price consensus and EPS surprise chart. But yeah, no, this is I remember this company, and I want to say it was a big one for Tracy. I think it was a value stock that she really liked. But this is a while ago. I'm not sure how it's performing now, and it seems like my computer doesn't want to show me. There we go. Well, that's not a pretty chart. That's not a pretty chart. That's a lot of ups and downs, which is normally not good. And it doesn't look like their consensus is going up. Very little. Very little.
No, and I'm looking at the estimate revisions here, and it looks like there's only one analyst kind of following this, but he is kind of saying, hey, the revisions for the next year and the current year are going to be going up. If you look here, you can see that it's just kind of slowly working its way up.
It looks like it hasn't missed in the last 3, but there's that 4th one, and then every other one it looks like it literally. I mean, it looks like every other earnings it missed or then hit, missed or hit, missed or hit, and then the last 3 they've hit. So, I don't know, man.
It's a choppy stock, but it's looking like it's riding those kind of 2021 revisions that they're kind of looking for. So,
you know what, Mike? I'm gonna do you a favor, Mike Peters. I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna add this one. Why the heck not, right? I feel like this is actually a pretty good picture. I like the fact the revisions are popping up 3 in a row after missing and hitting and missing so often. I'm gonna add this one, and it's only $55. I don't feel bad. I'll put in a position. Why not?
We'll call this the Mike Peters play.
Yeah, we'll call this the Mike Peters play, Mike. I'll take it because I actually think that this is a fairly decent play. And
as you can see, he's actually adding it right now
as we speak. And I'm gonna go put in the price at $55.78. But I don't actually think this is a poor choice.
So honestly. We're gonna see how it'll play out, though, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna put in $55. Why don't I put in 500? 500.
So we said we're gonna be aggressive. Eric's taking that initiative right now. I like it.
Well, I said I wanted to find something, but Mike, this one is one actually that you put on my radar, and I actually think it's pretty good choice. So let's see. For 500 shares, it'd be what? Or 10 shares, $500, right?
I don't have my calculator up.
$55.78 should be right.
So this computer not have a calculator.
Boom! All right, I'm in.
Nice.
So Mike, I thank you. You just raised my worth of my portfolio by $500. I'm still 1,000 behind Danny, but I'm getting there.
You'll get there eventually.
Yeah. Well, I should have put more in Disney. I really should have. Well, when I got into that one, I really should have.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like there's still plenty of time. I feel like it's one of those companies that they have so many assets and so many things going on that it's just going to continue to grow I mean, it's not a business I see
Oh, it's never going to shrink. I mean,
declining
never.
anytime soon, especially in the environment that we're currently in. So I would keep an eye on it, man. You never know. You can get another in. I am always keeping an eye out for dips in this market to add to my positions. I haven't seen anything significant enough to really jump at. But
yeah, which I'll be honest with you, I hate this time of the season to look at stocks, personally, earnings season. I always feel like you're going to pay a premium for them, or unless you know something, you're going to end up...
Yeah, and you can also bite the bullet.
Yeah,
so
you might end up eating it. So I'm not really a big fan of buying during earnings season. This
No.
Bungie one for $55.75, I'll take a risk.
All right, just jumping on it, and we'll see how it plays out. We'll have to look at it next week when our show on Wednesday at 11. If you guys want to tune in live, make sure you are. If you're watching this on YouTube, playing it back, leave some comments. Leave what you want to see next week. If there's any
and I promise
cool
everybody,
stocks.
Kevin Major says that he will come in. I keep bugging him every week. He says he will do it. I told him that you guys are waiting for him. So I promise you.
We're getting
sometime soon. This is
right.
the last time I'm going to say it. The next time he'll actually be here.
All right.
So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching, and please, like Dan said, leave a comment, leave a suggestion, tell us to just quit this altogether and go become farmers. Also, don't forget. Right. Don't forget to check out Zacks.com/YouTube or Zacks.com/promo to see the latest promotion that we have available as well. So, thank you all. We'll see you guys all next week.
Peace.